or tools, or if its owner's manual is in another language. At Al's D&I, we don't care where your ride's from, but we do take great care to treat your ride like it is our own. Drive on in to Al's D&I, Sturgis Road, and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Mead Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Mead Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadLumber.com.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The Western Conference Finals in the NBA start tonight with the Spurs and Thunder at Oklahoma City. Some injury updates. De'Aaron Fox of San Antonio listed as questionable because of an ankle injury, but he is expected to go tonight as he went through shoot-around this morning. As for Thunder guard Jalen Williams, he's not even on the injury report. He's expected to return from a strained hamstring that cost him almost a month. Pelicans named Jamal Mosley as their new head coach, replacing the fired Willie Green. Mosley was recently fired by the Orlando Magic after 5 seasons. On the ice, Canadians and Sabres skate in Game 7 of the Eastern semis at 7:30 Eastern Time. Winner gets the Carolina Hurricanes in the East Final starting on Thursday. Aaron Rodgers officially signed his 1-year deal with the Steelers and was on the field today for OTAs. Jacoby Brissett of the Cardinals was not, as the quarterback wants a new deal. NFL owners meeting tomorrow, likely to award Super Bowl 64 in February of 2030 to Nashville. The 2028 NFL Draft likely headed to Minneapolis. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Happy Monday. Is there such a thing? Well, it is always a great day in South Dakota. I hope you're doing okay. There's some storms yesterday, today, so keep your head on a swivel. Everybody be safe out there wherever you're at across South Dakota. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is back. Hope you had a nice weekend. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and here, Fox Sports Rapid City. Stream us all the time on X. You can bring us up on your phone, follow us, and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. So if you're on X, follow the show and watch us live, answer our question of the day and all that fun stuff. We check the X account throughout the show, so follow us there, interact with the show at Nate Brown Show, and watch us live in studio. YouTube channel is up right now, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel, The Nate Brown Show. YouTube, you've got us, and Midwest Sports Plus, ready to go. We're live on the high school sports streaming app, Midwest Sports Plus, right now. Hey, hope you had a solid weekend. A lot to talk about today, no doubt, as we start another week. Let's get after it. A great guest lineup tonight. Let's look at it. Jay Elsen's going to drop by tonight. I appreciate Jay and all of his work and his coverage over the years, and we're going to get an update from Jay Elsen, Sioux Falls sports broadcaster. Jay Elsen, we talked about him last week, that he's not going to be full-time with Midco Sports. They don't have any now full-time sports announcers. What is the plan there? Jay Elsen coming up on the Nate Brown Show tonight. We'll talk to the Sioux Falls broadcaster covering USD and SDSU. We'll go down to San Antonio, get an update on Game 1. Coming up in OKC, we're going to go San Antonio. Mike Taylor covers the Spurs, one of the great broadcasters in San Antonio. What's his take on the Western Conference Finals? He's the host of In the Building with the Spurs. Mike Taylor's coming up. Game 1 preview tonight. I'm jacked for this. I think this is going to be a great Western Conference Finals. Mike Taylor's coming up from San Antonio. And we'll get into the NFL. Frank Schwab on tonight. YahooSports.com. National NFL writer Frank Schwab. So a lot to cover from South Dakota and beyond. And remember, it's a Reaction Monday. We're going to be blessed with Rob Keighron. Man, I got to be ready, man. I can't start slow out of the gate on a Monday because Rob's coming in. We're firing tonight. Rob Keighron's in a Reaction Monday. Next hour, full hour with national radio host Rob Keighron here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You want to get in tonight? Join us. Hope you're having a solid Monday. Join us on the program, 605-720-1067. That's the number, 605-720-1067. Welcome your calls on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. 2 great locations, our partners in Brandon and 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Stop by the Pizza Ranch, the best buffet in town by far. And the Barons-Wilson text line is open, 605-720-1067. That's the Barons-Wilson listener text line for you. All right. A lot to cover tonight. I'm going to go with a big story that's been going and going and going. And I actually have to say this. I never thought we'd get to the point of where we're at today. I honestly didn't. A lot of times people talk and they have meetings, and then they have another meeting, and then they send it to this committee, and then they send it to that committee, and then they create a new committee. What am I talking about? So this is going to be, I think, it could be historic news. It could get bogged down in lawsuits still. I'm not sure, but this has to be a big step. What's the discussion we've had for, I don't know how long now, a few years? The landscape of college sports, can we do anything about it? And this just isn't sounds like they're talking. No, what's happening now this week? This is this week. We're in Monday, May 18th. This week, a Senate bill will be introduced on Capitol Hill when it comes to governing college sports. Are you shocked? Or is this going to just be, we introduced the bill and then 3 years later we talk about it again? Is that going to be this, or is this real now? This is finally. You know how long the NCAA's been lobbying Congress to do something? No, seriously. 7 years. I've had this media company for 7. We started talking about this 7 years ago. NCAA's been lobbying Congress to do something federally for college sports, governance, NIL, uniformity. How can we get the NCAA, I guess, either out of the picture or the NCAA's been wanting protections, right? They've been wanting protections. Well, this deal here might end up not working out for the NCAA. They've been lobbying Congress. Hey, can you guys step in and help us? Well, they might step in, and you guys might be obsolete. The NCAA might be obsolete. So here's what's going on. I'm going to give you an update today. This is one of my passionate topics, college sports and the mess that we're in with unlimited money, and it's pay to play and the whole thing. There's 2 things here. There is a SCORE Act. This is called the SCORE Act. It's going to be introduced, did they say like tomorrow or Wednesday? Something like this. In the House, U.S. House now. This is Capitol Hill. This is D.C. This isn't NCAA doing this or that or commission doing this. This is the government saying, okay, we got to do something with college sports. And the SCORE Act may be introduced in the House, but that's going to kind of be an afterthought. So I'm going to put that over here. Here's the big one. Bipartisan Senate bill backed by Trump, major stakeholders. They say today will provide the clearest path yet for NCAA rules and law, shielding the organization from antitrust challenges. So what this looks like, this legislation will address transferring, NIL, and create a new, strong governing body for college sports. And that's where it's like, wait, Is the NCAA going to stay in this game? Did they win this battle? Or are they going to get taken out of this game and they're just going to run the championships and they're not going to have to worry about all this money stuff and enforcement of the rules stuff? That's what I want to figure out. This thing is complex. The whole college sports landscape is convoluted. You guys know this. So here's the deal. A presidential committee, remember that committee that was created? They talked about, what should we do in college sports right now? Well, they talked about stuff, but apparently everybody's now on board with this Senate bill that's going to be introduced. Ted Cruz out of Texas and Maria Cantwell out of Washington. So you can't get Republicans and Democrats to do anything. I mean, we can't get them to do anything, but they are going to get together. They're going to get together on the college sports legislation. Do you believe this? I'm just curious. Do you believe this? By the way, let me ask the question on the text line, okay? Let me ask this. Do you think the federal government should be in the middle of this thing? Is it time? Is it time for the federal government to finally get in the middle of this thing? So here's how this is going to go. I find this interesting. Nobody knows the exact language of the bill from Cruz and Cantwell yet, but a memo is out there, and it suggests they will incorporate elements from the White House committee, that committee that was talking about. They will include antitrust protections. That's when the NCAA gets sued over everything. And this, heads up, an NIL-based salary cap. An NIL-based salary cap. This is, you don't have to be a political science major to figure out, what's some of this stuff mean? Antitrust, all this and that. What are we interested in as sports fans? To me, here's what I'm interested in. Can you have teams competing on a uniform basis, not having this state law and that state law? Well, we can do this in our state. We can do this in our state, this benefit, that benefit. You just can't have that. So as much as we think government messes up stuff, I don't know how else you solve this college sports problem when Ohio State and Texas have this and teams in that same division have way less. I mean, it's not even close, guys. So how can you got to have some, people have said, I don't mind there's money getting paid to the athletes, and that's me. I don't mind that. But we do want some, rules like the NFL. You got to have some structure. You can't have free agency, unlimited money, free agency every year. That's what this type of thing's going to solve, they think. So you tell me, number one, is it time for the federal government to step in on college sports? And it looks like they are this week. Senate bill, so keep your eye on, if you watch the news, we're going to be covering this on this show. Is this going to get anywhere? Can it get it's a big number, 60 votes in the Senate. You got to get everybody on board on this thing. Can you get something where people say, yeah, this is how we should do it? And this Senate bill, that means they're not going to be employees. That was Ted Cruz talked about that. You can't have them as employees because they're saying there's not going to be any union stuff, collective bargaining union stuff. You can't have that. So I don't know if there's still a fight going on here. I don't know if this is just going to be messy, but it sounds like finally there's 3 things on board. White House, Republicans, Democrats. Finally, there's 3 things. And then you're thinking, does this work for the NCAA? Are they maybe they don't care. Maybe we don't care if the NCAA is on board. But I'm telling you, one thing we want, you can't have transfers all the time for every single thing. You can't have unlimited payments. This team gets a certain amount. This team gets 10 times that. You just can't have that. So that's in here, by the way. NIL-based salary cap. NIL-based salary cap. You tell me, what's my thought here? Am I hopeful on this Monday? Am I hopeful that maybe there'll be some rules that finally end up not going to the courts and lawsuits and this and that? Because guess what's happened, guys? If you followed this like I have, I just talked about the College Sports Commission last week. This was the new commission. It's an organization created to say yes or no to the NIL deals that are out there. This is the College Sports Commission who last week denied Nebraska. They just said the Huskers couldn't pay these certain athletes this amount of money because they didn't prove what they were going to do for the NIL. So everybody thought that would solve it. We have a separate organization saying yes or no and trying to make sure that NIL is fair. Is this fair market value? Well, guess what's happened? The College Sports Commission is being sued. I mean, it's just never ending. You can't do anything if you don't have a federal law that says this is the law. So that's the only reason why I think maybe we might get down this road finally. Now, you can argue whether the federal government should be dialed in on college sports or not, but it is one thing that's gotten people's attention. And now you got White House Republicans and Democrats saying, I think we got a bill here, and it's going to be this week. They're going to be introducing it in the Senate. NIL-based salary cap, also addressing transfers, also creating a new governing body for college sports, and the antitrust deal. So that means the lawsuits and everything, you try and enforce a rule, and the NCAA got sued. I mean, they try and enforce a rule, they just got sued. And so that's why this is going here. By the way, the College Sports Commission, that organization that approves or denies NIL payments, they still have over $100 million deals that they haven't addressed yet. This is May. This is for the upcoming football season. So there's schools that have told their athletes, hey, you're going to get this. And there's over $100 million spread around the country at various universities that the College Sports Commission hasn't even decided on. It's just out there. The colleges said they're going to pay you this. And then the College Sports Commission said, well, we'll get to that when we can get to it. This is just wild, guys. It's just wild. So that's my only thought is it is time to finally have some uniformity. You're only going to get it through the federal law. Can we finally get on the same page? Salary cap for college NIL, great. Transfers, let's make a rule that's fair, not shutting them down like before, but not a transfer every single year. Come up with some of that stuff. And you just got to make sure that the governing body can enforce the rules. Okay, the NCAA can't enforce squat. And so that's what this is going to address. You tell me if you're good with the federal government stepping in on the text line, 605-720-1067, as we start South Dakota Sports Talk Show tonight. Listener text, you can't solve any NCAA problem without involving the federal government. You can't have 50 different laws, 50 different states. Yeah. Listener text, however, the players should demand the ability to form a union. Oh, boy. Going to get sticky. By the way, this legislation, it looks like, we haven't seen the details yet. It's coming out this week in the Senate, U.S. Senate. Sounds like it's not going to be union stuff. Okay? So, meaning no employee status. No employee status for the athletes. And sometimes I'm okay with that. Why? Because when you become an employee, then you start running exactly like a business, and they're going to look at the other Olympic sports, and I think universities might say, why do we have these employees in swimming, in cross country, in golf? We've already heard about that, right? So why do we have these employees? We don't need these employees. That's what I get worried about there. Okay? Hey, really quick, let's get into this story. So keep an eye on it. Bipartisan Senate bill. Is everybody on board finally? We're all going to join together and create a new law for governing college sports? This week, let's keep an eye on it. And then I'll get back to you in 5 years after they... after they kick it down the road. We'll see. This is the biggest development yet in the college sports federal landscape. Let's go to this high school sports story because it's just went wild today. We love high school sports, and what season is it right now? Track and field. I'm seeing some great performances across South Dakota, by the way. Some records being broken, all that stuff. So congrats to all the athletes. Track and field, man, that's a tough sport. I mean, you are tough and some great accomplishments. Okay. North Carolina just did their state track meet over the weekend. Why do you care? This is a high school sports story now that's on The Athletic. It's getting national attention. It is going wild. And you can find it if you want to and get into the details. Here's the deal. There's a high school, Mallard Creek, out of Charlotte. It's right there in the Charlotte area, Charlotte, North Carolina. They had a runner who won a race on Saturday. He won a race himself. It was a hurdles race, okay? Can't remember if it's 300 or 100. I don't know, but the kid won the state championship. And he celebrated when he went across. He's kind of pumping his fists and stuff. You can watch this stuff. It's celebration. Some people took it as, well, his celebration and stuff is taunting the other runners. That's what people took that. Apparently, he was allegedly given a warning, don't celebrate after winning. Don't celebrate after winning. Well, then he was on a 4x400 relay team at the end of the meet Saturday in North Carolina. He was the last runner. They won the title. He held up 5 fingers. He held up 5 because they won 5 state titles in outdoor and indoor in North Carolina, this high school, Mallard Creek. So as he crossed the finish line in the relay, the same athlete who won the hurdles race held up 5. And guess what they did? They disqualified the team. They lost the team state title because they said he got disqualified. They disqualified the relay win, and his team loses the team state title in North Carolina. And now the debate is, what is fair? What is right? What is right? What is wrong? Celebrating high school sports. Is it taunting? I watched it. I got to tell you guys, this is just me in South Dakota. Man, oh man, we're getting a little soft. Man, I mean, he wasn't in anybody's face. Guys are celebrating 3-pointers in basketball. We're doing stuff like that. I know it can get annoying. We're gonna disqualify a team off of holding up 5 fingers. Hey, we won 5 state titles crossing the line when he already won. And they accomplished the feat, right? And we're going to take it away? I can't do it. I absolutely can't do that one. Let's take a quick call. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
What a way to start a week. I mean,
what do you say?
I can't get it. People are crazy. That's what I think. These people they're just jealous because apparently this school does quite well for itself. I get it. If you make a 3-pointer and you're doing it along their bench on the way by and you're doing your antics and stuff, you want to lay out a technical. Who wins 5? I mean, it's just unbelievable. Why can't adults just shut up?
Just let it go.
Get out of their own way.
Just let it go, right?
They can't do it. They can't. They just can't do it. And today it's getting worse and worse. I mean, they're ruining youth sports, period.
That's wild, man. You can't take a state title away after that, correct?
You can't do anything after. You can't disqualify him for winning the... No, you can't even take away that race. That should hold up. It just frustrates the heck out of me. I just had to say something.
Happy Monday. Appreciate you.
Happy Monday.
Thanks for getting in. I'm with him. I mean, I don't like the taunting. I don't like any of that. Come on, guys. It was the state track. It was the state championship. Oh, he was given a warning. Well, his coach said today he wasn't given a warning. His coach said he wasn't given a warning, and it wasn't egregious. He didn't get in anybody's face. He didn't point at anybody, do any of that. He held up 5. They won 5 state titles. That was at the end of the relay. 5. And they took it away. They appealed it to the North Carolina Activities Association today. Guess what the Activities Association said? We're going to stand by the meet officials. Thanks for that. Give them the state title. They got to give this kid and this team in North Carolina the state title. You got to do it. The Nate Brown Show says we endorse giving him the state title for what it's worth. Frank Schwab's next, NFL writer, Yahoo Sports. Aaron Rodgers is back. Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's May 2028. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a... It's casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Well, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Happy Monday. It is a happy Monday, right? We're doing okay. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. And KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. It's Reaction Monday coming up full hour with Rob Keighron in tonight. Rob Keighron's New York Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Don't tell him. Rob's in tonight. We'll talk a lot about big things today. Aaron Rodgers is back. Federal government stepping in college sports with a Senate bill this week. That's big stuff. Rob Keighron's coming up. First, NFL writer Frank Schwab getting us started. Yahoo Sports. Follow him at Yahoo Schwab. Find him at yahoosports.com. Frank, welcome in. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good, man. I appreciate the time. I got a lot of NFL stuff I want you to read on first. The big one, Aaron Rodgers back at practice, OTAs. He's back. 22 million's the number. Could get up to 25 million. 42 years old. Did the Steelers play this right or wrong?
I didn't love it. I still don't love it. It worked out. He I think they basically had a deal in place the whole time, and he just didn't want to deal with the offseason. I mean, they might have had to work out exactly how many million, but I don't think the Steelers never acted like they were concerned that this was going to happen, and that tells me something. But I just wonder about the overall approach. I mean, look, 43-year-old quarterbacks don't improve from the year before. It just doesn't happen. There's only been one guy in NFL history who's had any success at quarterback at age 43 or older, and that's Tom Brady. And Aaron Rodgers, look, he's one of the all-time greats. And could he have another solid, respectable season? Yeah, for sure. I don't discount that possibility. But you get to a point where what are you aiming for here? A slightly less good version of last year's Aaron Rodgers, who was only okay. That defense is aging. I don't know. I just don't like what the Steelers are doing. I thought they downgraded a coach, just kind of hiring basically the same guy as Mike Tomlin, except not as good as him. They are swinging for what with a 43-year-old quarterback. Again, you're just running it back when you have no chance of winning a Super Bowl with that core you have right now, and that's been proven year after year. I just don't like it. And if I was look, it's easier for me to say this. My job's not on the line if I go 3-14. But if it was me, I just would have said, Aaron, it was a fun year, but this isn't taking us anywhere. We got to find a different direction. So good luck in your endeavors, and we're going to find a different quarterback for next year.
So the question is, though, Frank, is like these teams that are in no man's land. There's teams that are in no man's land.
Yeah.
They can't find the top 10 QB. So then how do you play this if you're the Steelers? It's almost like a whole rebuild.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's the thing. I sit here and say, don't go down the Aaron Rodgers road again. But I don't know that there was a ton of great options. I mean, unless you want to overpay Malik Willis, which is has some upside at least, I guess, but is risky. We all know that. I just think I don't know. I don't know how you play that because this draft. The problem is this draft wasn't good enough to really give you outs. Like you couldn't be like, okay, well, if we don't bring back Aaron, we can go draft Jackson Dart late in the first round. That just wasn't available this year. Even Ty Simpson went to the one spot where he doesn't have to start right away because I think it would have been a disaster to start him right away. It's a tough quarterback market, but it gets easier next year with the draft bringing in. There might be 6, 7, 8 guys drafted in the first round next year at quarterback. So that helps. That gives the Steelers some chance. But there's just a 1-year, bridge, I guess, to that, which is fine. But I still sit here and say, what's the ceiling here for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? I don't think it's very high.
Aaron Rodgers back today with the Steelers. He was in OTAs. $22 million is the guaranteed money for Rodgers at QB this year. Let's go to this. This just came out, a report that the owners are going to vote on expanding the international games to 10 now. We're at 9, and that's the most we've ever had. Going to go up to 10, the owners think. You think this is going to go even further, the international games? Is the NFL going down this road of just, hey, we're going global here. It's a money game.
I think everybody knows it's going to 16. I don't know why the NFL's piecemealing this together. Like, we're going to do 9, and we're going to do 10. Just make 16. Everybody knows that's where you're going, so why are we delaying this and stalling? It's going to happen, and that basically just, it instead of having one team overseas, like the London Jaguars or something, it basically just becomes a composite. We're just putting 16 games everywhere, and every team goes back to, every team plays one, so that's 32, and then the schedule goes back to 8 home, 8 road, 1 international. I don't like it. I really don't. I think this is asking a lot of your players. Look, the EPL isn't putting Arsenal and Man City in Kansas City randomly. Like, well, the NFL's taking inventory away from its home fans to do this. And I get growing the game and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I just think they're chasing money that I don't think is as much there as they think there is. Like, this is one of the NFL just can't be satisfied with being a $25 to $30 billion a year operation. They got to be more, and I don't think it's good for the game itself. Like, I just don't. I don't like these international games. I don't like the series. I don't like how they're expanding it. I don't like what they're asking the players to do. I wish it would get less more than get more, but we all know it's going to 16 at some point.
Frank Schwab in tonight, yahoosports.com, NFL coverage from Frank here on the Nate Brown Show. So you're in Denver. I got to ask this conspiracy question, okay? My Broncos fans are asking me. So the Broncos' first 6 weeks of the schedule came out, and it's rough. I mean, it is absolutely rough. They could be 2-4. I'm a Broncos guy. Is there any thought that the NFL, why did they do that? I know it's 17 weeks, but the first 6 are tough.
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything to that. Because it's got to happen. You're still playing the same tough games. Whether you play those all, if we were playing them, if you were playing all in December, you'd say, well, there's a conspiracy that they don't want to make a playoffs. They want them to falter late. Like, they got to happen at some point. All in all, the Broncos' schedule is not that tough. Like, it's middle of the road, I believe. I think they're even maybe on the good side of it might have I think it's like the 12th toughest schedule in the NFL this year, which isn't that bad for a first place team. So these games, it'll all balance out. It's starting slow if they do start 2-4, like you said. Yeah, that's not great. That's not what anybody wants. But then theoretically, you got 11 games after that should be a lot easier, and you can make up ground. Whereas you got to play these games. That's why it always made me laugh when the schedule was balanced, and even now when people are like, "Oh my God, how they're having the Chargers play 5 road games in a row." Well, okay, that still means that they're going to get 8 more home games at some other point. This all balances out at some point. So I think the Broncos, yes, it's a tough stretch to start the season, but no, nothing untoward. It's just kind of how the ball bounces sometimes.
Okay, I just saw this soundbite. Former ESPN president John Skipper, and he was talking about the NFL and the TV and the streaming. And Roger Goodell's made a mint. So the streaming partners are getting more games now. Netflix has the most games they've had. And so he made this point. He said, Fox and CBS have to have the NFL to survive. They have to have them. Live sports is where it's at. They're going to die if they don't have it, and they got to have sitcoms and whatever. But he said the streamers are going to have all the money, and they're going to be able to dictate to the NFL, hey, we got all this money. You should give us even more. Where do you think this lands in the next few years?
Very interesting. It's so interesting because the NFL is just operating on a different field than everybody else. But I look at, Game 7 last night in the NBA was on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
I was stunned by that. I thought that didn't get enough attention, actually, that Game 7 of the second round of the NBA playoffs was on a streaming site. I think the NFL, the only reason why they would cut deals with CBS and Fox, because I think we're going to get to a point where if YouTube wants, the NFC games, they can outspend. That's just the way it goes. Netflix, same way. The NFL's business model of being on traditional networks and growing the game, I think it would have been, I don't know how much money the NBA got for putting Cavs Pistons on Amazon Prime last night. I have no idea. But we can't argue it was better for the game itself to have it on Amazon Prime.
No.
It would have been much better on NBC. We just know that. We just, that's common sense. But the NBA wants to make extra money, and that's where everything is going anyway. So let's get ahead of this. I understand it. But I think the NFL would have to look and say, okay, is it better for our game to put all the NFC games on Netflix or to keep it on CBS where people are comfortable with that? They know our model. We're still making money like nobody else is. We're doing ratings like nobody else is. Why mess with that formula? I think that's what they're going to have to do instead of, and they're going to look at, how much more are we talking? Are we talking $5 billion more? I don't even know what the number would be. So it fascinates me. This whole concept, this whole conversation fascinates me. I'll tell you one thing, Nate. The one thing I noticed with the schedule, everybody's excited about, this team plays now, and who does this team play on Monday night? The one thing that stood out to me, and I know a lot of other people have pointed it out too, the standalone games this year were unbelievably good. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving, it's the strongest Thanksgiving schedule I've ever seen, the strongest Christmas schedule I've ever seen, and the strongest international game schedule I've ever seen, and the primetime games are pretty good too. So I think that almost tells me they're building up to this. They're saying, even if we give it back to CBS and Fox, it ain't about Sunday afternoon anymore. It's going to be about we're showing Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, whoever, right now, that we're willing to invest our best inventory, our best games, into these streaming sites, and CBS and Fox will get what's left over. I don't know if that's what they were trying to say, but the NFL doesn't do anything without thinking it through and thinking about every single angle. Yeah. And the fact that they made the standalone games this year much stronger than I've ever seen before, I think there's something to that.
Really interesting to me, that conversation. I saw that soundbite from John Skipper today. Frank Schwab in tonight, NFL writer for YahooSports.com. Frank, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Frank Schwab tonight. Follow him at Yahoo Schwab on X. Find him at YahooSports.com. National NFL writer, live from Denver. All right, it's game one. I'm going to come back to this, the streaming stuff, because Matt Kearney told me he wanted to. So Matt said we got to talk about streaming tonight, so I'm going to follow his guidance. That's coming up. But first, Mike Taylor. He covers the Spurs. It's game one tonight. This is big. OKC and San Antonio. Mike Taylor from San Antonio next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right. Call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Take your Deadwood stay to the next level at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort. Choose Hampton by Hilton or 4 Points by Sheridan, both just steps from the Main Street action. Then play in our 24/7 casino, bet every buzzer beater at the BetMGM Sportsbook, and taste your way through 6 unique dining options. With non-stop events, next-level casino promotions, and everything under one roof on historic Main Street, plan your getaway at tinlizzie.com, where your getaway goes to the next level.
Denny Menho Rapid Chevrolet means service. We service all makes and models, even if you didn't buy it from us. Everything from oil changes to more serious repairs. If you find yourself in need of some body work, our body shop is gold certified, and we can put any make or model back in shape. And if you need new tires, right now, our tires are buy 3, get the 4th, for just $1. See us for all the details. See us at Denny Menho Rapid Chevrolet, rapidchevrolet.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. Our affiliates are Fox Sports Rapid City and KWSN Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Thanks for listening there on the radio side. We appreciate you. You can stream us on X right now at Nate Brown Show. So watch us live on your phone. If you get out of radio range, you can't take us with you all 2 hours. I understand. So catch us on the stream on X at Nate Brown Show. You've got us. Rob Keighron's coming in. New York City radio fame. National radio host Rob Keighron. He joins us every Monday on the Nate Brown Show. A Reaction Monday with Rob coming up. Hang on. Mike Taylor's in Game 1, Western Conference Finals. I'm ready. My family asked me, what do you want to watch tonight? Let's lock it in. Let's lock it in. Game 1, Spurs OKC. Mike Taylor, his show is in the building. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, you can find the podcast in the building. Mike, welcome in. How are you?
Good to be on with you. I'm doing good.
I know you. I mean, Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. What's it like? San Antonio, what's it like? The glory days are back.
Well, I look in the mirror these days, and my face has changed in the 12 years it's been. And mostly my hair. It's a lot more gray. So does Tim Duncan, and those of the old timers who went through the long run with the original Big Three. It's neat, Nate, because in those days, when Manu and Tim and Tony and those guys were in their heyday, it felt like, it just was great to be a fan. I was in my 30s and early 40s, and that was great. It felt like, those were my guys, and they were legends forever. Now it's weird because now that I'm in my 50s, and this franchise has gotten good again, I feel like a proud uncle. I was a brother then, but now I'm an uncle because the new pups are ahead of schedule, and here we are getting ready to play. And probably the most anticipated. Well, not probably. This is the most anticipated series this team has played since the 2014 Finals when they beat Miami.
Okay, so I'm going to go to this other thing really quick, and then we'll get to Game 1 in the series. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the MVP again. And so people say, wait, he didn't lead categories. He's really good in a lot of categories, really good on a great team. But he didn't lead like Jokic or blocks like Wemby, stuff like that. Is Shai the MVP or not?
I would not have voted for him. And of course the guy in San Antonio says that. But I really do mean that. And I don't want to disrespect him at all, I don't know if baseball analogies and basketball, I don't know if baseball and basketball should be compared, but he's kind of Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter never led the league in home runs or RBIs or average or even fielding percentage, but he was always, a lot of people considered him pound for pound the best shortstop in the league. So SGA's pound for pound the best guard in the league. MVP, I think he's an outstanding player in an outstanding system with a terrific coach and has benefited from being around those guys. If SGA were a Minnesota Timberwolf, he'd be on vacation like Anthony Edwards is. I would not. I think Anthony Edwards, when he's healthy, is a better ball player. But I don't have a vote, Nate, so it is what it is. And whatever that, I think it'll motivate Wemby. I think Victor Wembanyama wanted to win MVP, and now that he didn't, not that he needed any more motivation, whether it be in the conference finals, but I think Wemby will try to show the world that he should be the MVP.
Okay, so I talked to a scout who's done international basketball, so he's a big international guy, NBA guy. He's a former D1 college coach. I asked him about OKC and just, how they play and the whole thing. He told me last week they get officiated differently. And he said it's really, really not good. He said OKC, great team. They get officiated differently. The fouls are called. They're not in the Wolves Spurs game, for example, series. That's what he thinks. What do you see? Spurs beat OKC in the regular season. Do you think OKC gets calls? That's what everybody points to, and this guy doesn't have a dog in the fight.
I do. I do. And I hate to be the fan who complains about the referees all the time, and I try not to. I think that the NBA has a problem with crew to crew. So much depends on simply what crew you get on a given night. The Spurs just got out of a street fight in 6 games with Minnesota.
Yeah.
And most of the crews that officiated that series, they let the boys play. I mean, you could have called something every trip down the floor, and Lord knows how hard it is to call the NBA. It's so difficult. Back to baseball, I almost think the NBA should consider adding another referee somewhere on the court. I know it's already crowded. Like baseball adds 2 umpires down the lines in the World Series in later playoff stages. I think SGA is really great at drawing fouls. I think it depends on what crew has his games, but there's no question fans have noticed it, players have noticed it, teams have noticed it, coaches have complained about it without calling names. And I think Adam Silver has a real issue on his hands here over the next 10, 15 days in this series, because if, with the world now watching Oklahoma, if this shows that they are getting all of this treatment and the refs are buying these fake failing flops that Oklahoma's so good, there's going to be a lot of people upset. And the NBA is going to have a little bit of egg on its face here in 2 weeks if we're sitting up here and the whole country now sees how egregious the difference is between Oklahoma's games. A lot of that is because they're really good at drawing. Manu Ginobili used to take a lot of crap down here years ago because Manu was really good at drawing fouls too. And my defense of him in those days was, Manu's job is to win the game. And if the refs are going to call it and it helps you win, why don't you do it? I don't hate SGA for doing it, but the league needs to figure out something else to do because they've tried to do something about flopping. Heck, you get a technical now if you get called for flopping, but for whatever reason, that particular guy never seems to get that, because a lot of other guys get called for flopping. I don't recall the last time SGA got called for flopping, and not in a big game anyway.
Mike Taylor on tonight from San Antonio. His show is In the Building. Check out the podcast. Great stuff when it comes to the Spurs. Coverage of Game 1 is coming up. Spurs OKC. Find him on X at Mike Taylor Show. So I look at it and say, there's some matchups here. What do you think about Holmgren and Wemby? Are they rivals? I see there's some testiness there. I mean, what's that matchup like in this series?
Oh, I think there's definitely some testiness, and I think Wemby's going to have to try to keep his cool. They're not going to be able to afford to have him get suspended for a game in this series. They'll lose the series. He's going to have to try to play within the rules aggressively. And not let any weird blood he has with Chet get to him. I think a lot of it's also, outsiders. And when you constantly hear and you constantly get compared to one guy, it just these kids these are the most hyper-competitive human beings on the planet. And when you constantly pick up the paper, or I don't know, pick the paper or watch TV or whatever, and you hear all these people wanting to match you up with that guy, you're just naturally going to want to show the world that you're better than that guy. And then that tends to lead to actual bad blood. These kids don't know each other. They saw each other when they were younger. They saw each other throughout the season. And you could just tell, though, it was palpable. As the season went on, you could tell that whether it was because they just wanted to show the world they were better than the other one, or that maybe there's some stuff that got said between the two during games, they genuinely would like to beat the hell out of one another. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it's wild to me, the Chet Holmgren, Wemby matchup, because Wemby's really competitive, but not a lot of testiness or anything. He's usually just getting after it. Holmgren, Wemby. I'm watching that. Mike Taylor on tonight from San Antonio In the Building podcast. Your pick. I just saw this. You're taking OKC in 7. Why?
Yeah, well, don't look at my notifications after that from people. Because I have to go with my brain and my gut. My gut tells me, because Oklahoma is, and I know the Spurs went 4-1 against them in the regular season, and I think the Spurs obviously can win the series. I think home court advantage, but these two are so good. They have so many weapons against each other that home court means everything. I really wanted the Spurs to get home court advantage this year. Just didn't turn out that way. They still won 62 games. I think if it goes 7, all these guys do is prove me wrong, because I'm always, okay, they're young. They got to get over this hurdle, then they got to get over that hurdle, and all they ever do is get over all the hurdles, right? The last hurdle is, can you win a Game 7 on the road in the Western Conference Finals? And none of these kids have ever participated in a game like that. So if this thing goes 7, it's hard to think that the Thunder won't find a way to beat San Antonio if it goes the distance, only because of the home court thing. And Oklahoma City is really, really good. They're the defending champions. They do have the MVP, whatever anyone thinks about that. They have so much firepower. Obviously, the Spurs do too, but I mean, honestly, it's a coin flip, and so when in doubt, pick the home team. So I just picked Oklahoma simply because they're at home, and we're getting ready to go on a 5, 6, 7 year run here where these two are just going to beat the heck out of it. It's just good. This is Ali Frazier, and it's going to come a lot of nights. It's going to simply come down to who's at home. I hate to make it that simple, but that's the reason why I made that choice.
I love the series, man. This is going to be fun. Game 1 tonight, 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain. OKC hosting the Spurs. Mike Taylor on it. Watch his show. It's in the building. You want to check out the podcast, find him on X as well at Mike Taylor Show. Mike, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Appreciate that very much, sir.
Thanks for your time. Mike Taylor on tonight. Went off on his own. Has a great show in the building, live from San Antonio. Mike Taylor covers the Spurs. Game 1 tonight. Spurs, OKC. I'm ready. I am ready. Jay Elsen's on tonight. We saw the story last week. He's been a full-time guy with Midcoast Sports for a long time now, covering USD and SDSU. Sounds like he's not going to go totally away. So what's next for Jay Elsen, Sioux Falls sports broadcaster, live coming up?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's May 2028. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
The Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Glad you're here every weekday afternoon drive. Fox Sports Radio, our affiliates, KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. Appreciate you. Our Reaction Monday getting ready to start. Full hour next hour with guest host Rob Keighron. We're not going to call him a guest host anymore. I mean, this is Rob. He's bringing it, man. Reaction Monday with Rob Keighron. And then he pops in Thursdays as well. So the spice of life. Rob Keighron coming in. National radio host on the Nate Brown Show. A lot to discuss today. Let's go to Jay Elsen. Appreciate his time. I've told him I appreciated his work over the years. He's done a great job. Sioux Falls sports broadcaster, play-by-play, USD, SDSU. He's been with Midcoast Sports, and I just want to get down to the bottom of it. I did a segment on Jay. I said, man, he's done great work, and you know the media landscape's changing and the whole thing with streaming and all that stuff. But I thought, well, we better get him on. Jay, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. Thanks for having me. Good chatting with you.
I appreciate you. So I sent you a message, and you got a bunch of messages from people. So if people missed last week, you know, they're doing whatever and they missed, you announced that, hey, my full-time opportunity with Midcoast Sports, I won't be doing that anymore. And, you know, we'll see where things land as opportunities arise here. So I just wanted to get you on to say, I know things change, and the full-time sports broadcasting side with Midco's not there, but it sounds like you're still saying, hey, I'm going to be around with some games and things like that. Kind of tell people where you're at.
Yeah, that's the plan. You know, I mean, you know, I've been doing it a long time, and very grateful for the time I've had as a full-time employee with Midco Sports, but got in at the ground level and was part of some really exciting things there. Got to be a part of some really great growth, and proud of everything that I was a part of there, and always will be. But yeah, now it's you know, just time to kind of turn the page and consider what's next. It's been a while since I haven't known what was next. You know, I mean, I think I go all the way back to college, and that was the last time where I didn't know what the next step was going to be for me. And obviously there's some different circumstances in play now than there was then, which makes it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, in terms of the play-by-play side, Nate, I mean, that's my passion. That's what I love. I'm going to do that as long as the opportunities are there, whether that's with Midco or anybody else, and just going to continue to be grateful for any chance I get to put a headset on, because that's really, you know, living that life and being that close to, you know, the sports world is something I'm just not ready to be done with. So, hoping that part of my life continues to grow, for that matter, and just how and what that's going to look like, the shape of it all, I'm not sure, but I know the passion is still very much there, the desire. So all that is just, you know, it's just a matter of kind of waiting to see how it all unfolds from here.
But you do expect, you know, people are like, hey, we've watched Jay doing USD and doing STSU. You expect to still be doing games on a game-by-game basis. You expect that.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, the opportunity sounds like it's going to be there for me with Midco for sure, and that's something that I'm certainly excited about and grateful for. And you know, I'd already, you know, been kind of kicking the tires on trying to expand that those opportunities, you know, within my own control in terms of making connections and trying to get my foot in the door, other places that do similar things. And, you know, I think inventory-wise with streaming, like you mentioned, you know, there's as much, if not more, than there's ever been in terms of games to do out there. It's just a matter of having the right connections and having people that are willing to give you a chance. So, you know, still actively pursuing all of that and trying to add more to my resume, whether that be, you know, different sports or just different leagues, teams, what have you. So, anybody that might hear it that has a need, you know, I'm certainly open to conversation. The only thing I won't do is move my family. You know, I've got a daughter that's going to be a senior in high school next year, and so that's something I refuse to do.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just not at that point in my life, and and really happy where I'm at, in terms of full-time, living situation. So other than that, though, have game, will travel.
Let's go. Let's go. I like it. Jay Elsen on tonight, Sioux Falls sports broadcaster. His full-time opportunity coming to a close with Midco, but going to be looking at play-by-play. We'll still be seeing him on the stream on the TV side of this. So I don't know if people know this, and we don't have to get into all the weeds here, but I felt like Midco, for one, there was a huge investment. I don't know if people know how much. You're talking full TV production, and I know there's been some things. There's some cuts here and some cuts there. I just wonder how the media, the TV side of things has changed over the years. So expensive, a ton of investment, and especially in a market like South Dakota/North Dakota.
Yeah, live sports is not cheap. That's for sure, and that's just a reality of the business. And with that, the ways that people are going about those things is evolved as well. Obviously, with the streaming side of things exploding, if you get into that, you can do games for a lower price tag, and that's certainly part of the equation for everybody going forward. Not, that's no one specific. That's everybody. If you're going to be in that business, you have to consider that piece of it. And the most expensive is always going to be doing those full scale productions, and that's difficult. And resources are not unlimited for very many people. So that all becomes something you have to consider, because it's bottom line is it's a business, and you just have to be prepared to change with the times and change with the technology and kind of roll with things. And you have to be flexible. And, that includes the people on the talent side, the production side as well. I mean, you have to find ways to adapt to this ever-changing culture and landscape of, not only the production side, but the landscape of college athletics as well. That's continuing to move. The targets for all these different things are moving in their own directions and their own timing, and so you're kind of along for the ride if you choose to do this. And that's a situation that we're all well aware of when we get into this, and certainly that has intensified a little bit here over the last few years with everything that's been going on, but. The bottom line is if you're happy, with the job and still enjoy it, and you're still willing to deal with that, then more power to you. And I guess I'm still in that camp where, while the situation has changed for me, the love of the game, the love of the particular job has not. And so, as long as people keep asking, I'm going to keep doing it.
Let me ask you this. Jay Elsen on tonight from Sioux Falls here on the Nate Brown Show. Looking forward to seeing what's next for him, and I still think you're going to be hearing the call of games coming up. A lot of people say, well, I think what's missing maybe will be the stories, the segments, the interviews, some of the stuff that you've been doing when you're not doing games. Is that something that, hey, well, maybe I can still do some of this in a different way that you're looking at?
All options are open. That's, I'm considering a lot of things right now, and it's been a hectic week, no question about that, but with everything that's happened in the last 7 days. But it's, certainly, you can deliver content in a lot of ways, whether that just be straight social media or kind of doing it the old school way where you get out and shoot and edit and post on social media. That way. So whether that's, posting natively or posting, things that you've already created in other ways. So, I've had some conversations with friends that have been in the business and things like that about, what could we do or, what should we do? And the trick is you got to find ways to be unique, and you got to find ways to deliver something people can't get just anywhere else and make yourself stand out. That's, the toughest part for anybody, I think. But, and you know that as well as I do. So, I'm certainly, considering everything, considering supplemental opportunities, that allow me to continue chasing the games part, and finding full-time employment, quote unquote, in another way. Something that will allow that both in terms of scheduling and obviously an entity that will allow me just to take something on the side like that, because that is an ask. certainly, while it's, most of the games we're talking about are off hours, off standard business hours, you still have to have the right setup to be able to make it happen. So that's something that for me is going to be a big part of the consideration moving forward, and in anything that I consider, whether that's in a full-time creative space or just adding that to, to move alongside with the whole live game aspect of what I want to do. But yeah, there's nothing I'm shutting the door on completely, because it's just, at this point, because of all those things I talked about earlier, and not being in this position and not considering anything other than sports or live sports or TV or anything for such a long time, it's, that's part of the excitement when you get the opportunity to look at some other things, is, hey, what is there something else out there for me that would make me happy? And entirely happy, I that's where I struggle, because entirely was, is kind of what I have been doing for such a long time, and that's what I still really enjoy. If I can find something in that, fantastic. If I have to go the other direction, I can do that too. But I think you can't really make the right decision if you don't consider everything that gets presented to you. So I'm just trying to listen and have a lot of conversations for the time being.
You've done a great job, man. I know that. I sent you a message, and a lot of people said, hey, they've really enjoyed the work, and I think that'll continue, at least in parts of that, which I know a lot of sports fans will appreciate. Let's stay tuned. It's on the table. On the table. Things are on the table for Jay Elsen, Sioux Falls sports broadcaster, long time with Midco Sports. I think you'll still be seeing him. Jay, stay in touch, man. Let's do this again. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Nate. And I just would like to say, too, I haven't had a chance to reach out to everybody who's reached out to me in the last week, but I saw it. Everything in social media, whether it's texts or phone calls or anything like that, and just so everybody hears it from me directly, like, none of it went unread. All of it was very much appreciated. The support for me, for my work, for my family, all those things. So just want to take the opportunity here to make sure everybody hears me say thank you for that, and it really does mean a lot.
I appreciate you. Good luck. Stay in touch. Thanks.
Sounds good, Nate. Thanks.
Appreciate you. Jay Elsen on tonight. Wanted to get him on. Appreciate his time, his full-time commitment there with Midco Sports coming to a close. But Jay Elsen sounds like more play-by-play, at least, USD, SDSU in the future. And do they have the contract and all that stuff? So stay tuned. One of the big sports broadcasters on the scene for many years. Jay Elsen on tonight. We'll stay in touch with him. What's next for Yotes and Jack's coverage with Jay? Reaction Monday is happening now. Are you ready? Rob Keighron's ready to go. Is his team really going to do a walk into the NBA Finals? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The following radio ad is good fun squad approved.
My name is Jenny, and I'm the lady at the South Dakota Lottery who writes out those big checks for our winners. It's a lot of fun, but we've had so many big winners lately, my hand is tired. There was a $600,000 winner, a $2 million winner, a $4 million winner. That's a lot of zeros, and not normal zeros, big check zeros, and the winning never stops. That's why I'm learning to write with both hands.
Good fun.
Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Save big money on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Menards has a huge selection of bagged concrete and mortar mixes. Whether you're pouring a walkway, a concrete slab, or setting a post, we have the right product at the best price to complete your project. Shop our entire selection of concrete mixes and supplies in-store and on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City. No one comes close to the selection of beer, wine, and spirits you'll find at your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include select Basil Hayden Bourbon at $10 off. Save $6 off the big 175-liter of Fireball, now only $23.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City. Plus, follow Mr. Liquor on Facebook for in-store events, allocated bourbon drops, and exclusive in-store barrel picks.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
It's pouring all summer long at Cadillac Jack's. It's the Make It Rain $125,000 downpour. Be here every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight for drawings every 30 minutes that start out at $300 and grow to $1,000 prize packages at 11, 11:30, and midnight. Then on Saturday, July 18th, 10 lucky winners will take home their share of $10,000 in cash and prizes at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
Isn't it time for new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen? With mortgage interest rates where they are right now, so many people are renovating their own homes rather than moving. And there's never been a better time to invest in awesome new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen's legendary windows have been the best you can get for decades, but many people don't know that Renewal by Andersen also has incredible new ensemble entry doors and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows, which are winning rave reviews from clients. Renewal by Andersen's windows, ensemble entry doors, and the entire Acclaim line of replacement windows will make your home so much more energy efficient on cold winter nights or hot summer days. Those new windows and doors will make your home so much more quiet and secure. We hear that all the time. Please visit RBARapidCity.com to schedule a free consultation. Be sure to ask about our great offers and really attractive financing options right now. Renewal by Andersen Windows and Entry Doors. Isn't it time?
One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're back and ready on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. You know where to find us, I hope. KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. If you can't listen to the entire radio show on your drive home, you can catch us on X. We're at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live in studio at Nate Brown Show on X. YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show. Search for us. You've got us, The Nate Brown Show YouTube. We are up right now. Rob Keighron's in a Reaction Monday. A lot to discuss tonight, Rob, and I will tell you a couple of things NBA. I'm going to go two things NBA right away. Number one, I just got a listener text here. I mean, I don't know if these guys are just waiting for you to get here. They just can't wait for the Rob Keighron episode to start. And what do they say here? Listener text, 605-720-1067, how you can text the show and be featured like this, especially if you got a message for Rob. We always read those. Listener text, Rob is going to be unbearable tonight with his Knicks basically walking into the NBA Finals. Unbearable tonight with the Knicks walking into the finals. So we got it set. It's Spurs OKC tonight. I'm into that series. I'm not into the Cavs Knicks. I mean, give me a break. Maybe it'll be on Prime and I don't have to watch it. But Cavs Knicks, is this the opportunity? The Knicks walking into the NBA Finals. Is that listener correct?
I would say no. It's not walking in. Certainly they are a favorite. They should be a favorite the way they've played, the way they played the 4 games against Philly, the way they played the last 3 games against Atlanta.
They're world beaters. Boy, those were tough teams, weren't they?
They are not that tough of a team, and so I'll give you that. And that's why I say it won't be a cakewalk. I do think, rightly so, they are a heavily favored team against Cleveland. But Cleveland has some weapons. Donovan Mitchell is an excellent player. You know, Harden, as much as I don't particularly like him, he has played well over the last, week and a half or so. So I'll give him that. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk, but I do think I'd be surprised if we didn't win. I want to say 5 games, but I'll be fair and say 6 just in case. We have a slip. Now, don't get me wrong, we haven't played in a week and a half, right? There is something to be said about coming out a little rusty, a little slow, having 10 days off in the middle of the playoffs. I do think that, we could get tripped up here or there, but I don't think it's like last year, right? I thought Indiana was a very good team last year that could absolutely beat us. I would be very surprised if Cleveland beat the Knicks right now.
Okay, you would be very surprised.
Yes.
So listener Tex is calling for a sweep.
No,
saying a sweep.
I don't see that. Because I do think they'll be a little bit rusty out of the gate. Not exactly sure what you're going to get out of Anunoby. It certainly looks like he's, for the most part, recovered from his hamstring thing. But I still don't think they're going to push him too hard there. I'd be surprised if it were a sweep, too. Right? I really would. I do not think we're going to sweep the Cavs. I think this is 5 or 6 games, but I think we should solidly be in the NBA Finals in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
This is just lining up perfectly. New York City's own Rob Keighron's going to get his Knicks into the Finals. Is this as big as Ewing, Starks, Oakley, Bulls having to get through, having to battle, having to get there? Is this as big? Knicks, Rockets, back in the day?
Well, it was different then, too, right, Nate? Because we had those struggles year in and year out against the Bulls, right? Even had some struggles against Indiana, right, with Reggie Miller. And so we had our moments where we thought we could get over the top, and if we could ever beat the Bulls, we could absolutely get over the top. And then, of course, Michael retires, and we have this opportunity finally to get into the finals. We get there, and then we have a 3-2 lead, and somehow we lose in Game 6 and Game 7 to the Houston Rockets. And I know most people don't care about hockey around here, but for a New York kid, and I was 13 at the time, 1994, the Rangers were in the Stanley Cup Finals at the same time as the Knicks were in the NBA Finals against the Rockets. The Rangers win Game 7 of their series against the Canucks, and we think that the Rangers and the Knicks are going to win in the same year. The Knicks crush our hearts, obviously. John Starks has one of the worst games in the history of the NBA Finals. I think he went 2 for 17 in Game 7, and it was crushing. But New York was completely into the Knicks then.
How about now?
I actually could make an argument that they're more into it now than they were then.
Because they're starved.
Because it's been so long. The last time the Knicks won the NBA Finals, I was not born, right? I mean, and I am not young anymore, right?
That is amazing.
I am not a child. So the fact that it's been that long, and in reality, not just that, right? And we're not getting into a New York sports topic here, but New York teams have not been very successful over the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, let's be fair, right? The Mets haven't won since 86. The Giants had their runs, right? In 08 and 12, but since then, they've been terrible. Let's be fair. They've not been good almost year in and year out. The Jets haven't won since 1969. The Rangers haven't won since 1994. The Islanders haven't won since the early 80s, right? Like, there hasn't been a great amount of success. So now the fact that the Knicks have had a few good years of momentum here and could actually get to the NBA Finals, I think more people are into it now.
Are you juiced? I'm ready?
I'm completely into it. I will absolutely be watching basket by basket over the next week and a half or so of the NBA, of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, so now that I know that you're that into it, ready, New York City, this is your team, the Knicks, I'm going to start getting into that series just so I can kind of hit you a little bit.
I'm sure.
Take you a little, rib you a little bit. So I'll be ready. I'll be ready on that. So I got to go. I won't root for the Cavs. We'll just have some fun.
Well, here's why you have to root for the Knicks. And I'm not for me by any means. In fact, I would expect you would root against me. But it's a much better NBA Finals if we get either Knicks Spurs or Knicks Thunder. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's what you and I as sports fans, like, we don't have a dog. You don't have a dog in the fight. I certainly do.
We can't have Cavs, Spurs, or OKC. Can't have it.
No one needs to see James Harden in an NBA final, okay? Like, never.
We might be able to hit him. Listener text, Nate, does New York fire its coach if they don't win this series? If they don't win this series, I don't fire Mike Brown.
I don't think they will after 1 year, but would he deserve to be? Yes, because Tom Thibodeau brought them all the way to this
You're
point.
Already firing the coach.
Well, I didn't like Thibodeau getting fired in the first place, right? I thought Thibodeau had made big progress with this team, that he would have eventually got them over the top. I am not a big Mike Brown fan, but I will say over the last 7 games, he's done very well, so I'm going to give him some credit. But this team had one goal and one goal alone, right? We already got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. We had gotten over Boston, who was a very good team last year. And be fair, that was a big win in that semifinal. Well, now if you're going, you and I would agree that the Cleveland Cavaliers are an inferior team to last year's Indiana Pacers.
Got to get this done. But
you have to win this. Do I think he should get fired if they don't do it? Yes. Do I think he will? No, they're not going to fire him after a year.
By the way, one more topic on the NBA, and this is, Matt Kearney is the lone man. He's on the hill. The producer of the Nate Brown Show, he's dying on the hill of... He thinks it's fine that the Game 7 last night, and I don't care if you watch Pistons or Cavs, you're probably not that interested here in South Dakota, just my guess. But Game 7, it was on Prime Video. This is Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and you don't have it on NBC or ESPN. You got to have that.
I completely agree, and I know we sound old, but I cannot take you seriously as a league when your deciding game in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs is on something that I have to log in to go watch. And you say, well, you save your login. Yeah, sure. I just want to turn the television on.
It's just wild.
I want to hit the power button.
Is it growing the game? Is that growing the game?
No, of course not.
You got the NBA. Not. People don't have Prime. Not everybody and their mother has Prime. Guess what? I was in a hotel this weekend. Oh, you could bring up Prime on the TV. Yeah, I know. It's a mess. It's a mess. I wanted to watch NBC. It's difficult. You're traveling. I'm not going to do that.
Here's all you need to know, Nate. There is one league that is more successful than all of the other leagues combined in this country. And still, to this day, they put, other than maybe one playoff game, they put all of them on over-the-air network television.
Yes.
It's the NFL. And if it works for the NFL, it should work for your sport. If you think that you're smarter than the NFL, you are the biggest dummy in the world.
By the way, I said that. I said the NBA is not nearly as big as the NFL. The NFL's doing some streaming stuff, too, and Netflix and all that. The NBA can't go down this road. They think they're that big they can put their game on Prime?
But you can do it, right? You can do it in certain spots. You can do it a game here, a game there.
Well, they did it. I thought it was going to end. I honestly thought it was going to end after the first, the play-in stuff.
That's what I thought, too.
I thought, okay, those are on Prime.
Yeah.
We're good now.
Yep.
It's every other game.
Absolutely. It's a huge problem, and I think they're nuts if they think that they're growing the game. Tell me when will this happen? When will the AFC or NFC championship games or the divisional round games,
it won't be.
When will those games be exclusively on streaming? I don't believe it. I'm sorry. The NFL knows better than to mess with their fans and say, well, you got to go find this game right now. No way. I don't see it.
Interesting you say that. John Skipper, former president of ESPN, thinks that streaming will take control of the NFL with all their money. We're going to react to that coming up. By the way, speaking of the NBA, I do want to get to this. The MVP is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, OKC. He won the MVP again. People are saying the international players have taken over the NBA. Is that right? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's May 2028. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Brown Show.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live tonight, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show and Rob Keighron in a Reaction Monday. Boy, I figured it out. Matt Kearney is a Prime fan and a streaming sports fan. Man, I was like, hey, game 7 last night, Cavs, Pistons. And he doesn't even watch it. He doesn't watch it, so he doesn't care. He just likes taking us down.
That's it. He's mad that, we have strong principles on these things. I mean, they're literally designing it for guys like Matt Kearney who love streaming, and he doesn't even watch it.
No.
So it shows you it doesn't work. The guys who actually want to watch the game, who are, have to jump through 7 hoops to watch it, well, forget it. Eventually I throw my hands up and say, and then when the game stinks, if it were on regular television, I'd keep it on probably.
Yeah,
right?
You check it out.
And go back and forth.
But you're not going to go back in if it's a bad game.
When I turned that game off toward probably 3 or 4 minutes left in the third quarter last night, I said, I'm not going back.
That's it.
I'm done.
No, and that's right, because you would flip back and you'd be like, hey, what's going on? All right. That was wild. I did not expect Game 7 in the Eastern Conference like that to be on a Prime streamer. People talked about it today, but it was kind of covered up. Everybody's scared or something of Amazon. By the way, let me get into this NBA topic, and then we'll get to something I find interesting today with the federal government getting into college sports, and it looks like it's really happening. So we'll get to that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's the MVP. This is a national sports thing that people say, oh, debate the MVP. I'm not going to debate the MVP. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done SGA as the MVP. But the topic has been all of the international players have been the MVPs the last 5 years.
Yep.
Last 5 years, and then you have to go way back, like 10 years to even get a guy that's in the mix from the USA. So everybody said international players are now better. They've taken over the NBA. This is the problem. Basketball, AAU, nobody's getting developed, and it's the money, it's the whole thing, and youth basketball. Are we overreacting? I mean, didn't the USA just win the Olympics? Didn't we just win that with our players? Can we grab a great player from France and Serbia and stuff? Yeah. Are they taking over the NBA? International players are now better than us?
No, absolutely not. I think you hit it right on the head there. We can take the best that France has to offer, the best that Serbia has to offer, the best that Canada has to offer, right? All of these, but they don't have the depth that we do, right? Like let's go 1 through 50. How many of them are Americans, right? How many of them are international? How many of them are Americans? Way more Americans than all of the other countries combined, right? And so that's the difference. Yes, at the top level, these countries are doing a really good job of developing top-tier talent, but not every single. We're not filling out every roster with just international. It's not like we get, oh man, did you see the Nuggets last year? Like they had 9 international guys and 3 Americans. No, that's not happening. And that I can't see that happening ever. Certainly if it was going to happen, it'd be a long time away. It's just those countries have done a really good job of developing top-tier talent.
I had to push back on that because I'm hearing that topic today. Look at the MVPs of the NBA. They've all been international the last 8 years. It's like, they're better than us, and I'm going through this. Yeah, there's some great players. And as a matter of fact, so then I said, Rob, I sent this to you. I said, let's do our starting 5 in the NBA. And I'm not going to be biased here, guys. I am going to have international players in there. So I'm just saying, who would be your starting 5? Forget about the MVP votes. By the way, SGA, is he the MVP? He's the best player in the NBA playing tonight?
Well, again, it really comes down to, Nate, what do you consider MVP? Is it the best player? Is it... I've always thought...
the Nuggets, if they don't have Jokic, they're nothing. They are nothing.
I've always... And I generally agree with that sentiment, Nate. Like, I've always thought the MVP is the guy, if you took him off that team, could they still be, a playoff team? You take Jokic off the Nuggets, they're not making the playoffs.
It's over.
I would argue the same about Wemby, right?
Yes.
You take Wembyama off of the Spurs, I don't think they're making the playoffs either. Maybe they're the 8th seed. One of those teams is the 8th seed. If you took SGA off, could OKC still make the playoffs? I think so. Now, I think he's great, right? And in some ways, I think he's underrated because he doesn't have that star power. He's not as big as a Wemby or Jokic
stuff.
Right, like he's a different kind of player. I think he's spectacular. I think he's top 5 in the league. Do I think he's the MVP? Not by the way I want to judge MVPs.
Listener text coming in, 605-720-1067, how you text the show. Let's see, they're talking about SGA. Isn't SGA from Canada anyway? Is that really international?
Well, sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure that despite what certain people say, Canada is not one of the 50 or 51 states.
But I do know what he's saying. It's not like it's like Serbia or Europe. I mean, so it's right here, but it is not the USA.
In some ways, that's more impressive. How many great Canadian basketball stars have there been through the years?
I can count 2. It's SGA and Jamal Murray. Like, people don't know Jamal Murray from the Nuggets. Those are the only 2 Canadian basketball players that I know.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's really impressive to come out of Canada and be the MVP of the National Basketball Association.
Back-to-back MVPs, SGA. I don't love that. Where's everybody arguing about this? Everybody thought Jokic shouldn't have been. Oh, Jokic, should they give it to him again? He's led every stat category, like almost every single one.
He averaged a triple-double, Nate. I mean, he averaged a triple-double. Isn't that enough?
And nobody's arguing. So it was SGA leading vote-getter MVP today. Wemby was second, and then Jokic comes in a distant third. So let's go with our starting 5 right now in the NBA. Okay, I want to do this, okay? This was kind of hard. I don't know if you thought it was kind of hard. I mean, there's only 8 guys I considered. So it's not like you go deep to me. There's 8 guys, but it's my starting 5 right now. So I'm going to go, but here's how I cheated on this. I'm going to go 2 Twin Towers. I'm going to go 2 guys in the middle. I'm going to go Tim Duncan, David Robinson style. So remember those guys. So I'm going to go Wembanyama center, he's my center, and then as a power forward because he can go outside, he can pass. So I'm going to keep Wemby inside at 7'5". I'm going to go Jokic power forward. Can I get away with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
because if the Spurs were that successful with Duncan and Robinson, then you can absolutely do it.
Okay, so I'm going Wemby center, Jokic power forward. This is another cheat. You're going to say, well, this guy's a guard. Well, he's 6'7", 6'8", physical. Kawhi Leonard is my 3. Kawhi Leonard is not my 2. He's my 3, so /small forward like Scottie Pippen. That's Kawhi Leonard. I don't like Kawhi. He sits out. He's injured. But player for player, I'm taking Kawhi. 2 guards. Steph Curry still for me. Just unbelievable. Lights you up from 3. He's still really, really top shelf. And I barely go SGA. I debated, do I take Anthony Edwards over SGA? If I'm going to take a guy, do I take Edwards over Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? I did not. Last 2 years for Shea have been really good. I'm not a huge fan of him, but there's my starting five. Wemby, Jokic, two guys, the bigs, and then Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Were we on target?
We started to be, and then we went a little off the rails there towards the end. I completely agree with you on playing the Twin Towers. I tried my best to come up with a scenario this afternoon where I wouldn't put these two guys together because they're both these giants, and does it work? Yes, it works. They are the two best players in the league, right? I would be a fool to be like, hey, I'm going to try to come up with something. I'd be forcing it. It's absolutely Wemby at center, Jokic at power forward. Here's where I think basketball has changed so dramatically since when you and I grew up watching it in the 90s and even the early 2000s, where you really had to have a 1-2-3 combo there. I don't think you need that anymore. I think your backcourt can be a hodgepodge. I think 1, 2, and 3 don't necessarily have to fit those traditional point guard, shooting guard, small forward. And so I like your Kawhi pick because I think when healthy, he is phenomenal. But I went a different direction, and I'm going to play basically 3 guards at 1, 2, and 3 and have them be a bit interchangeable. And so I agree with you on SGA for sure. I think after that is where you and I parted ways, and I am absolutely going to take Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. And my last kind of guardish guy, even though he's 6'7", is Luka. So I'm going to take Luka,
I knew you were going to do
SGA, and Anthony Edwards.
Luka, I looked at him. He dropped out quickly. I mean, I can't have... Why don't you have James Harden in there?
James Harden is not even in the... No,
same player.
No, Luka Doncic?
No defense.
Jokic doesn't play defense. Wait a minute. You love the Nuggets. Jokic plays zero. Did you watch the playoffs where he basically just lets guys go right to the rim? What is he, 6'11"? Now you're making me crazy.
Wait, no. Does he pass the ball? Yes. Does he rebound the ball? Yes. So those are two big categories, assists and rebounds. Does Luka do any of that?
Luka rebounds the ball. Luka rebounds the ball. That's not true at all.
He shoots.
Luka rebounds the ball.
Hey, watch this. Around the back, it's like he's playing horse out there. It's like, play basketball. The guy scores. That's it. I can't have it.
Luka is his average for the season, 33.5 points, 8.3 assists, 7.7 rebounds. That's not nothing, Nate.
That's nothing.
That's not nothing.
Nothing.
Now, he doesn't play defense. I'll give you that, but geez.
He can't pass it, and he can't rebound
33.5 points a game. What do you want?
So no Steph Curry. Are you kidding me? Who's the better shooter? Who's the better shooter?
There's no one who's a more pure shooter than Steph Curry.
Yeah, so he lights it up. I mean, Luka.
I'm okay with your Kawhi because I think he's that good when he's healthy.
So you took Ant-Man over, I guess, Steph Curry, kind of.
Yeah.
And he took Luka over Kawhi Leonard. It's not even close.
That's just not true.
That is not even close. If we lined up NBA executives tonight, who do you want right now? Kawhi Leonard or Luka?
It's not even close. They're going to take Luka.
I mean, it's just, how can we be that far off?
Kawhi is never healthy. Right? Now, you give me a different question there. I think your argument when picking the starting five, which is why I complimented you, I like Kawhi. If I'm an executive of an NBA team, it's not even close. I'm taking Luka.
Well, guess what? Did Luka play in the playoffs? I can't remember. Oh, he was hurt again. What a guy. He's been out of shape. He's been hurt.
Kawhi is 34. Luka has 7 years on him. It's not even close for an NBA exec. He has to take Luka.
Kawhi's better right now. No question about it. Okay, good stuff. Good exercise. But I can't believe it. Luka Doncic is in your top 5. It's not even in my top 10. Not even in my top 10.
Okay, well, we might as well take your top 10 and throw it in the garbage then.
Here we go.
Luka is not in your top 10?
Luka, James Harden. Let's see.
James Harden is not even close to Luka.
Let's put Giannis in there. It's just a bull in a china shop.
You could absolutely put Giannis.
Bull in a china
Giannis is not in your top 10 either? What kind of top 10 is this?
He's probably.
Top 5 and then 5 other garbage players so that we just don't put in the stars?
It's like Giannis is like Rob Keighron. Just drive to the basket and get out of the way, and he just knocks people over. I can tell. That's how you played back in the day. Okay, let's get into this. Federal government stepping into college sports. We've got a listener text on this, and I think it's actually pretty big news if this happens next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
how do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are offering a very nice piece of real estate for Levi and Lori Eaton at Piedmont, South Dakota. Now, the home has 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2 large decks, 2 shops, all situated on 9 acres of Meade County property, just east of I-90 near Piedmont, 9634 Deerview Road. We're also selling 50 lots of personal property, including a very nice Cub Cadet zero-turn mower. Final auction preview this afternoon from 3 to 5. Come on out and take a look at this property. For more auction details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Everybody knows to have success on the court, your team needs the right strategy. And it's no different with life insurance. Your team at home is counting on you to have a strategy when things get tough. Lee Cruz, agent with New York Life Insurance Company, is ready to help you make sure the most important people in your life are protected. Get a no-obligation, free quote fast. Just Google Lee Cruz New York Life. Don't risk it. Make the right play. Give your family financial comfort with life insurance. Get your coverage options with Lee Cruz New York Life, 605-360-8804. Google Lee Cruz New York Life.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
That song right there is the theme song of the Nate Brown Show. We want to go back to when sports used to be on TV and you could actually watch and have a TV dinner with your family and just enjoy life.
Well, Nate, I don't know if I want to go back to eating TV dinner.
Maybe that's just me.
I'm all for it. You had me completely, and then you're like, I got to sit there with a crappy Hungry Man TV dinner. No offense if you like that. It's not my thing.
I used to eat TV
I'm a good
dinners.
cook. I'm going to make my
dinners,
own food.
That was a great time in life. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what the food was, but I enjoyed it back in the day. Let's get into this. Something serious finally on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I've got something serious, and we got a listener text on this, so we'll get to that. So I don't know if this is really going to happen, but it sounds like it is. They have a bipartisan U.S. Senate bill when it comes to college sports, NIL, governing body, and the framework is there. It's an actual bill. Ted Cruz, Texas. Maria Cantwell, Washington. 3 key things are here, Rob. White House says yes. Republicans, I guess, on board. Democrats on board. There's nothing that they do together at all. College sports are aligned, they say right now, and one of the things, the details are going to come out this week. U.S. Senate bill this week. Details are going to come out. One of the things, according to a report today, NIL salary cap. NIL salary cap, transfers, it's going to address that. It's going to address a new governing body that actually has, like, you can't go against this. This is a federal law. Is this the right step? Federal government finally saying, we've got to do something here. People can debate it. Should they be involved? Is this the right thing?
Yes and no. I hate being that guy, and I'm almost never that guy on your show, but it's yes and no to me, right? It's yes because we're at this point where the system is completely broke, right? One of the things I did like that I read this afternoon was it was going to prevent coaches from leaving mid-season, right? And this idea that they're going to get courted in the middle of the season to go to another team. That part I really like. And I even like the fact that there'd be some kind of NIL salary cap, that they were going to put some regulations in place, some guardrails. Why on earth can the NCAA not handle their own crap? Why does they need the government, which should be having way better things to work on right now? And I don't want to get down that path, but way more important things. We need the government to step in and fix the NCAA. That's how inept of an organization that they are, that they can't get their own house in order, that they need the government to come in and do it for them.
The NCAA has been lobbying Congress to do this for 7 years now. I look back at this. 7 years of this. Because why? They don't want to get sued. They're just getting their pants sued off. I mean, they get sued if they try and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. Plus, they kick the can down the road. So they've been saying, we need the government to help us on this. I wonder if the NCAA is even going to have a voice in this. They talk about a new governing body that actually enforces rules. Is the NCAA just going to run championships and that's it? I wonder.
I don't believe that. I think they'll still have their hand in this. And I think the fact is the NCAA, like you said, they want this, right, because they can't handle it on their own. It doesn't seem like the players overwhelmingly are for this, right?
I wonder. Nobody's talking about the players.
Yeah, and there are way more players than there are, institutions around this country. So I think, again, if you had any kind of leadership, what do great leaders do? What have great commissioners in the history of sports done? But bring both sides together, bring ownership and labor together, and try to make deals. In anything, it's going to be a compromise, right? I mean, obviously, you're not going to get everything you want. But the fact that the NCAA has not even come close to making their own deal and needs the government to step in, I think it's a bad sign because you're not going to get the players on board.
Listener text, speaking of players, he said, Nate, with the feds getting involved in NIL, there should be a provision. If a student gets NIL money with the set amount, maybe $100,000 per year or more, they should be ineligible for the school scholarship. Make the athlete pay for the scholarship. That could free up money for other kids in the other sports.
No, sorry. I completely disagree with that, right? Do we know what college
we're going to give him a scholarship too?
What does college cost? He's going to Ohio State University. What does that cost? $80,000 a year? So you want him to take all of his NIL money and pay for his college? Sorry. Half of them are not even going there. Anybody who's making big-time NIL money is trying to get drafted, and they might come out early anyway. That I completely disagree with. They still get their scholarship.
Get this. I was told by a big-time university, this is a guy who went back to an alumni thing, and this is a big-time university that plays big-time football. He said all of the guys on the team, it's a minimum of $200K.
Yeah.
Minimum is what they're getting, $200K. And I thought, for the backup, the third-string center? He said, if you're on the roster at this university, they're giving you $200K off the top.
And I can understand that. That's probably a big-time program that is successful year in and year out that is making money on their program, right? They're not losing money. They're not giving the 85th player on the roster $200,000 unless they were making money.
Coming right back, wrapping up the show, Aaron Rodgers is back, and Rob Keighron says what next?
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's May 2028. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Show also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, 2 minutes left. 2-minute warning on The Nate Brown Show with Rob Keighron in studio. Reaction Monday, full week getting ready to go on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Let's go with our last hitter, and it's got to be, I've waited for this. I'm only going to give you a minute and a half, maybe even less if I can get something in on this. Aaron Rodgers is back. It's Rob's boy. He's back. He's going to play till he's a hat rack back there, 50 years old. Can't move. Just put him back there, but he can throw it. 42. He's going to be 43. $22 million. So give everybody the Aaron Rodgers spiel. Steelers, Mike McCarthy, and Aaron Rodgers, they're going to go back to the playoffs.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. With that kind of combo, absolutely not. Mike McCarthy and Rodgers, why? And who was better out there? And you're worried about $22 million? I mean, I'm going to give you 4 names of guys who are making way more than $22 million this year. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, and Malik Willis. Okay, you really going to tell me that we have a big problem with Aaron Rodgers getting $22 million when those 4 guys are making significantly more than him?
I can't believe you put Trevor Lawrence in there.
Trevor Lawrence
would run circles around Aaron Rodgers.
What has he ever done? He's average. Trevor Lawrence is entirely average. And absolutely, I'll take my chances with Aaron.
I saw the OTAs practice day. $22 million guaranteed. It could make up to 25. There's Mike McCarthy and Aaron. They're going through OTAs. I'm thinking, what are we doing? Is this, I mean, when was this, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's a little odd, I would give you that, but who's better? It's not like they had a better option.
They will not be in the playoffs. They are going to make the playoffs. The AFC North. Let's mark it down. May 18th. Matt Kearney always timestamps these. Mark it down. You said playoffs for the Steelers.
Yes. Absolutely.
I say no playoffs and it's going to be a sad ending to Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to go back into the ayahuasca stupor, and we'll forget about him. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. Back tomorrow. The podcast going up now.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face